is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Welcome.
With Joke and Taylor. When the fuck did that change?
Welcome back to another episode. Riveting episode.
I
Of
am on the edge of my seat.
You pay for the whole thing, but you only need the edge. Yeah.
I went to the NCAAs on Thursday.
I don't care.
They came to Des Moines.
I don't care.
I know you don't fucking care.
They don't care either.
Piece of shit.
All right? I'm the voice of the
Fuck
people.
You. Fuck you. I was sitting next to the most annoying...
Oh, I'm joking. Continue your story.
I was sitting next to the most annoying Illinois fan. She... Okay, so, like, when normally when people would cheer for Illinois, she wouldn't. She'd be doing something like looking at her phone or something. But then, like Arkansas would, like, have a turnover and knock their own ball out of the out of bounds or something, and she'd be like, yeah, Illinois, yeah, and it was just like, that's not when you cheer. Like, that's a fuck up. I mean, it benefits your team, but your team didn't do shit.
Yeah.
But she had this shrill whistle, right? And I learned to understand when she was about to do it, and then I put my finger in my left ear, because it was really loud, and I am an idiot with my hearing, and I have destroyed my hearing over the years. So I was just trying to protect it, and it wasn't anything against her. I could have taken or left how she responded to the game, but I didn't really care that much. It was just odd the way, it was just like, it's, just inside I'd be like, why are you cheering right now? You should have cheered when they got a 3 over, like, a double team.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at one point it was close to when we left, probably 10 minutes before we left, and probably like a little bit into the second half, she, cheered, and then I knew she was going to whistle, so I put my finger in my ear, and she said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm being really loud, aren't I?" And I was like, "Ma'am, don't worry about me. Honestly, like, it's my hearing. Like, I've destroyed my hearing. It's my fault, like, not yours at all. But, I can, I'll, whatever. Do not worry about me. You're here to see your team in the NCAA tournament. Rock your shit out. Do not worry about me. Like, just go nuts.
Within reason.
Well, no, I'm saying,
Don't get
like...
naked.
Yeah, she was older.
Wow. Body shame.
Why don't I go ahead and just have some ageification?
Let's just
What
get...
is it, ageism?
Let's get to the topics, okay? We got 3 things we need to talk about this week. We're going to talk about... We just a little bit ago got out of Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Yeah.
Talking about that. We're talking about Mandalorian, and then we're doing our Mayhem Comic of the Week. So that's
I can't sing it this week because my voice is shot, but good thing we recorded it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to sing it live like I do every week. That's hard on my voice. That's why I recorded a version of it.
So let's talk about Shazam, Fury of the Gods. A movie.
Does it really need to have a spoiler-free thing? Like, there's no real...
I mean, outside of people like us, I don't think a lot of people are going to see this movie.
Say start with Pizza Time, man.
I don't even have it up.
You son of a bitch.
It's not even worth it.
You fucking asshole.
Spoiler alert, everybody. Pizza Time.
Spoiler.
We're going to talk about this whole movie.
Yeah.
I will say, right out of the gate, spoiler-free, I'm going to give this movie a high mark.
Oh, yeah, we can give spoiler-free reviews, yeah.
Yes, I want to do that quickly. And
Sounds good.
And then we'll go into that. But without talking about anything in particular, I think it's the same things that I love. This is what's so frustrating. So this doesn't have the best Rotten Tomatoes score right now. And I've learned...
Is that audience or critic?
Critic score. It's like a 56 or something, which is technically rotten.
What movie did they see?
Well, the movie isn't perfect. None of these movies are perfect. No. But I think for what I came into, what I expected, it took everything I loved from the first movie and added to it, made it better, gave more character moments.
Amplified
surprised me with how much character development they actually gave. Now, clearly they have a lot of characters to juggle, so they're going to focus on a few characters more than others. That's just how it is with an ensemble like this sometimes. But I think the moments that we got were great, and I really, really enjoyed. And I love that first movie. I think this is, for me, just as good, if not better, than the first one. I loved both these movies. This one, very much so.
As everybody who listens to our show knows, I am a Marvel shill. I'd like to be like, no, but I mean,
No, I'm not.
I mean, I got to be honest. I totally.
You
am.
literally came in here before we recorded when we were like talking about this Avengers comic. You're like, look at it. Just look at it.
Before we,
It was cool art. I'm not saying it
before
wasn't.
we leave, I'm gonna talk about that. Okay. Yes.
No, we gotta we gotta stick to a schedule.
I fucking hate you. Okay, so no, but we were sitting.
Stay focused.
We were sitting in Flicks, and I turned to you and I said, you know what? I had made this kind of like a you when you tell yourself something, you're like, I'm gonna da 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 whatever. And I was like, I'm going to give this movie a lot more open-mindedness and a way more open chance than I did, say, Black Adam.
So let me ask you that before
Yeah.
we get into the spoilers of this.
Sure.
Why does you think that Shazam gets a pass, a little bit more leeway than, say, Black Adam? Because Black Adam took itself too seriously?
Because I was being, I was not being a good theater goer by being like, I'm not gonna fucking like this fucking movie. Like, fucking don't go then, dude. Just fucking don't go.
Don't see it if you don't.
Yeah,
think you're
don't
gonna
go.
like it.
I mean, I could say, well, I was hanging out with my friend, but that's honestly, even if you think it's gonna suck, I mean, I don't know, man. Just don't. I'm trying to be more open-minded about a lot more things.
But, yeah.
And one of the things is that it's a DC movie. So I've talked about on the show how I don't give a shit about Shazam and shit. I've said that many times. And I said, you know what? That's a really shitty attitude to have. Why don't you go in there, because you liked the first movie. I did. So why don't you go in there and just enjoy a movie that
But again,
let the movie entertain you.
But
you know?
why did you? But okay, but going in, not seeing either, why did you have? You didn't hate Black Adam. We had a
No, but I've
conversation
talked about how I
but-
don't give a shit
but-
about either. Whatever.
Right. But what I'm saying is, why did you go in with a more open mind for this than you did for Black Adam? Why did you
Because
maybe let yourself
Black Adam came first.
enjoy?
No, I'm serious. If Shazam would have came out first, I would have
But you-
gone in there
but-
with the attitude of fuck this movie. And then Black Adam, I would have been like, I better give this more of an open chance. I would have still liked Shazam better.
I disagree. I think it's because you didn't want to like.
Really?
I think that you had look. I get it. I think a lot of people turned on Black Adam because of The Rock and how he handled it,
Sure.
and I think that does play a factor. But if we're being totally honest,
Okay.
from Jump Street,
Fair.
from Front Street,
21
from Jump
Front
Street,
Street?
whatever street you want to go from, I think we will both agree this is a much, much better movie than Black Adam.
Absolutely.
Miles ahead of Black
here,
Adam.
And let me make this clear, too. When I did go into Black Adam with a shitty attitude, I still kind of liked it. And that also led me to kind of say to myself, going into this one, hey, man, not because... Now, listen, it has nothing to do... Those are the last two DC movies to have come out, really. That's the only reason they're being compared to each other. I know there's connections, but that has nothing to do with it. The fact is, this was the next DC movie, and I said to myself, hey, I had a really shitty attitude about Black Adam, and I still was entertained by that. Like, when he first shows up, and they start shooting at him and shit, and he just fucking wastes all of them, that's awesome.
There's good moments in that movie.
Yeah. So,
But anyway.
that's why I wanted to say to myself this time, give yourself a way more open mind, and you'll enjoy it more.
And I did. I wanted to get that discussion kind of out of the way at the beginning, because obviously they're going to be talked about and compared, because whether The Rock likes it or not, Black Adam is Shazam's main
I can't say
villain.
I'm completely objective. I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that I didn't like Black Adam as much.
I think you had low expectations for this movie, or mid to lower expectations. Black Adam, you had very low expectations, and you were like, eh.
Well, I have that MCU fucking problem,
Plus-
which is I'm always looking for the Easter eggs. I'm
Plus-
always looking for the fucking mid-credits
Look.
and shit. Like, fucking knock that off. Enjoy the movie.
Sometimes when I go back and I watch a movie after I see it in the theater, I might have different feelings about it.
Sure.
I can tell you this.
Love and Thunder.
Black Adam.
I loved it in the theater. Did not like it on rewatch.
Black Adam, I did not change. I watched it, rewatched it a couple weeks ago when my in-laws were in town.
Yeah.
And they had not seen it before, and I had seen it, and I remember sitting there, and I'm like, there's things that I saw in that movie that I'm like, that works for me. That's good. But then there's other things where it's like, this plot line doesn't connect. This doesn't make sense. The villain is shoehorned in at the last minute. Like, there's so many things wrong with that movie.
Dude, and every time Adam Smasher's on screen, he's being a bumbling fucking idiot.
But
and it's like, what?
And that's the comparison I want to make too with this, with the first Shazam and this Shazam, both. They really expanded on what I thought this was going to be and excelled at that. Now, this movie isn't like, the perfect DC movie, but I think it's one of the most rewatchable. I think it's one of the most enjoyable. I had a fucking blast watching this movie, and that's what these movies should be.
Can I ask you, this is an interesting question. It's kind of on the spot, but let's stick to DC EU movies. Which one do you think so far has been the best one?
Do we include Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I don't think you should, because it was kind of a fan
For me,
thing.
I would honestly even say with this one, I think both Shazam movies, in my mind, were the best DCEU movies.
Okay, yeah.
For my money, because I am a defender of Batman v Superman. I am a defender of...
Me too.
Look, I don't... The only problem for me with Batman v Superman... well, there's many problems I have with that movie, and we're not going to get into that.
No.
But one of them is I shouldn't have to watch a director's cut to get the full experience.
Right.
And that's what you have to do. If you watch the ultimate cut of BVS, it's much better. But back to Shazam.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Spoilers. We're talking about everything.
What mine is?
What were you gonna say?
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Shazam! And then lightning bolt. We're talking about the movie now.
Use it.
Talking about the movie now. Spoilers.
I used it.
Talk about everything.
Yeah.
For starters,
Mm.
I really, really love this Shazam family because they did such a really good job. When I saw that first movie with some friends and we got out of it, and I said, this is how I know that movie really, really worked for me, is when they all get the Shazam, when he shares his powers with his family and they all become the Shazam family, I was fucking going nuts. Like, I was excited for that. I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Because they did such a good job in that first movie building this family. And then come this movie, it just continues. Like, I think there's a lot of chemistry between the kids. I think they did a really good job, for the most part, translating that to the wizard versions, because the more adult versions, Billy Batson is the only one that like stands out to me where I'm like, what? They did it in the first movie, but why is the adult version of Billy a fucking idiot? And then when he goes back to his regular version, he's this sensitive, guarded drifter kid that finally has a family, and he's clean.
I think
and all that nuance gets worn off when he becomes the wizard.
You mean Shazam? Whatever.
Well, yeah, Shazam. But
listen.
They're wizards.
Listen, you were saying this on the way out of the theater, and I thought at the time, I was like, you're right. But then now that you're saying it now, I got to be honest, man. He's not Billy a lot in the movie.
He's not. No, it's Zachary Levi's movie.
So I think if you want to look for an in-universe reason or whatever, I think when he is Billy, he's like, this is serious time, But when he's Shazam, he's trying to be overconfident.
Yeah, what I was saying out of
and by the way, Zachary Levi is the best choice for this character, hands down.
Oh, I love.
He's fucking great.
Look, there are gonna be people out there that are like staunch defenders of Captain Marvel and Shazam, and like he's not this goofy character, and I'm like, bitch, they made a reference to that silly ass live action show in this movie.
Yeah.
The dude that was the original Shazam is in this movie,
yes.
and it's a funny little cameo. And it's like the cartoon, the Shazam cartoon, like this was always been.
I grew up with those things. They were horrible.
This was the this golden age, mass crazy adventures, magical character.
Yeah.
So he's always been kind of silly in some sense. Now I can understand how he got really goofy. Now what I was saying to you,
do you know what his original?
Hold on,
go ahead.
When we were coming out of the theater, what you were referring to, yeah. What I was saying is they haven't explicitly said this, but this is me picking up, like maybe me reading into it as a viewer, and why I love art so much. My take on it, my brain canon was when he becomes Shazam, it is, like I said, it's playtime. because most of his life he hasn't had a childhood, and he's been so guarded, and he's been in and out of the foster care system, and
he's not Billy.
He never had anybody love him.
Nobody's gonna recognize him as Billy.
And so then when he becomes Shazam, they do it in the first movie. He's cocky, or he's funny, or he's out of his shell.
Objectively, because Zachary Levi's a good-looking dude. He's tall and whatnot, so that's probably another thing, confidence.
And I understand that, but I just feel like in this movie, they cranked up his stupidity a little bit. And like made him a little bit goofier than he was in that first. Like he's very goofy in that first movie.
Yeah,
but when Freddy changes to Adam Brody, I feel a continuity there. I'm like that. He looks like him. He's acting like because the younger actor. I got to look up his name, but the younger actor
Jack Dylan Glazer. I think. Grazer. I don't know.
He was in the It movies. He's great in this.
The reason why I know is because they were very specific with the credits, which I like. That they're like, hey, this is who that character. Was he was great in the first movie. He was great in those It movies. I really like him. I told you, I think that dude, Jack. Yeah, you're right. It's Jack Dylan Grazer. He is gonna be he's gonna be a star. Like so he steals this movie. Like he is fucking amazing in this movie. Yeah. Here's an interesting note, is that the only so in the original movie, all of the kids were played by adults as Shazams,
and
right?
You see what I mean with him and Adam Brody working, like that attitude gets across when he changes.
This is just a side note.
Yes.
About production. Every one of the kids, including the girl who plays in this movie, both Mary and the
because she got to a certain age where they're like, let's just make her the same.
Right. So you know what I'm talking about. She's the only one that plays both parts. Every other character is played by two actors.
And I think Megan Good does a really good job.
She's great.
Of playing playing up that she's like an 8-year-old. Yeah, I like that. That was funny.
Yeah.
Again, just like the first movie, there is a ton.
Just say their name. Destiny's Child did it better.
What makes this movie work is and what made that first movie work is it's so over the top and magical and epic and comic booky, but at the same time it's very grounded in the reality of it. And this is why I always think kids work very, very well as superheroes. Like that whole thing, like Stan Lee got it right with Spider-Man, where he's like, it works if he's a teenager because we can all relate to that. And
we've all been,
yeah. And you're seeing and like for me,
either you are or you've been.
Another reason like I really enjoyed this movie is one of those situations where I was getting nostalgic for that age and being like, what that was like being 18 and not having your life figured out and so to see that,
I was too hammered to remember that shit.
But to see that played out,
where's my next beer?
To see that played out for Billy as a power fantasy, you know, and I don't know, I just really love this movie. I can't say I was going in with pretty good expectations, and it did a lot better than I expected. Was it predictable at times? Absolutely. But I still enjoyed the fuck out of this movie.
And there were, to be honest, there's a plot hole or two, whatever. It doesn't ruin the movie by any means.
I'm sorry, I've been so rambly. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. To be one of those douchebags, like, when they were rushing people off of the bridge, right? Oh
my God.
No, I know, right? I'm one of those douchebags. In my mind, I'm like, well, I hope they're cradling their neck or else they're just snapping like, because I'm thinking about real life physics. Yeah. I forget that I'm watching a fucking movie.
Or,
so immediately I was like, shut up, nerd.
One thing that made me a little
douche.
annoyed was when they were rescuing their parents and when they're still the Shazam family. And at one point they're running. Like, the Shazam people. I'm like, pick them up and fly.
Oh yeah, well,
I was like,
yeah.
You got to add tension.
Also, there were a couple moments where it was really, really easy for them to just, hey, you're not a Shazam anymore. Ha! And like, shit, how do you fight them? I thought the solution to beating them was really, 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 really needlessly complicated. I think it added about 20 minutes to a movie that is enjoyable.
What, are you talking about the dome stuff?
Just all of it. Just just the whole last part where he's going to her and she's like, you know what to do, and he's like, you know what to do, and like, what is he gonna do? I don't know. And then it's just really like, okay, listen, here's what we're gonna do, okay? But again, starting with the movie in that first part where I'm being that douchebag nerd, like, well, actually, if real life physics did it, right?
Yeah.
And by that point in the movie, it's almost the end of the movie. By that point, I have suspended all
I
disbelief.
mean, there's a giant wooden
And
dragon,
right, and
that paralyzes people with fear.
and stop and let me finish my point. Don't make it for me. You're right, but no, it's so much better when you go into a movie and you let yourself just be like taken away with the journey and shit. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a fucking objectively.
Oh my god!
Stop.
How many times do you have to mention that movie?
Make my point.
You've made your point about that fucking movie. But anyway, continue. You're talking about same thing with Indiana Jones, Chris.
It's a shitty movie objectively, but when I went to the theater that summer, right, exactly. This is the same thing. I wanted a movie-going experience. I got it. I got the spectacle, and I got misty a couple times because the character building and the emotional weight of these characters is palpable. It's real, and when. Of course it's tugging on your heartstrings and stuff, but when they're all standing outside of the dome and he's about ready to make the sacrifice, that's when he says I'm Captain Every Power Junior or whatever, or whatever, and he laughs. Even though he's really sad, he just laughs out of.
See, now that's a moment where it felt like they finally got the continuity right with between Zachary Levi and the Billy.
Right.
That was one of the times I'm like, you got it there.
But those are moments when the Freddie Freeman character when he laughs, those are moments that are like real life.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're crying your eyes out, something happens and you laugh. You don't. Everybody grieves differently, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed all the interactions. Dude, there was that moment where they sent, let's talk about Steve. Steve was probably the best part of the movie almost. The magic writing pen. But they send Helen Mirren.
That was the funny. Yeah, that was probably the
well,
funniest.
you're already dying because of the whole Destiny's Child joke. Because that's going on when she gets
a great example. And again, what I love about this movie is it does a great job. And I will say there are times
writing a letter.
Sometimes it kind of loses its tone a little bit, but I think but when you look, if you go in,
but genuine laughs. I had genuine laughs.
It's just like the first movie. You got to know what you're getting into. It's a comedy with action. So
yes.
there's so much opportunity for this to be jokey, and that's what it does. But there's times when they fucking nail it, and it's when they make up this whole mythology of well, if you write a letter to a god, it magically sends it out to them, and they can read it. So she's torturing this kid because one of the sisters is that she has the power to control or power of chaos, and by doing that, she can
whispers something.
If you're
and
weak-minded, you'll do it. And one part again, like the first movie, gets kind of dark where the teacher comes out and they make him walk off the building.
I'm
like, shit.
Right?
But anyway, she's trying, and it's seriously intense. His eyes are black. There's whispering, and it's this really fucking crazy scene. And again, the kid's killing it, and she keeps saying, say their name, whatever, trying to get who the other Shazam members are. And then, he's Destiny's Child did it better.
Yeah,
and it's
he just grunts it out.
And there's, like you're talking about, in the dome, and there's just moments. I love it when a movie can work its tone, balance its tone, where it's something really serious and a lot of, emotional weight, and then immediately have the levity of that
when
joke.
When she's reading that letter.
And then it goes to the letter sequence, which, holy fuck.
You know when you laugh and it's hard to breathe because you're laughing so hard? That was a moment
that
for me.
That one was the one that I think got the most laughs in the theater, too. It was because she gets that letter.
Do we have Gatorade? I want a red.
She's reading it, and the thing is, he'll say whatever. It's like
he's writing whatever you're saying, yeah.
It's like you're in court. They type everything you're saying, So they're all brainstorming this letter.
We can't do it justice. It's so good.
You have to see it.
You
in the
have
movie.
to watch it, yeah.
And it's literally of wait, should we look over this draft and make a second draft?
She's reading
and then
it so deadpan though.
And then another character, nah, Steve knows what he's doing. You just say what you're thinking. He'll write it out perfectly fine. And then, by the way, do we have Gatorade? I want a red one.
I want a red one. What is a Gatorade?
But yeah, again, I think this movie does a good job. Some people might say it's sloppy. I like it. I think it works well when they balance the more serious shit with a joke.
Dude, you know what was one of the best comedic moments was when Freddy gets locked in the cell with the wizard, and the wizard is just being an asshole to him.
Yes.
That shit was
You
hilarious.
didn't mention how sarcastic you were.
Right, like
I don't even sound.
God. I don't even sound like that.
Is that a tooth? I found a tooth.
Put a tooth.
I think they did. I honestly think they let the camera roll a little bit and kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's some shit you got to know is improvised, but
yeah, Jimon Hounsu play. He kills it.
he's great in that. Well, the part
He's got a bigger part in this one, really, than the first one too.
when he touches her on the chest and goes, "Boop, hero,"
Yeah.
and he fucking rolls his eyes in the back. Like he did what I did. I was like, good job. Good
Okay,
job, movie.
I don't know if you noticed this, but
In
for
the
a while,
background?
yes, were you doing the same thing? Okay, so it starts with like a wide shot during what
Super
we're talking
dramatic
about,
scene.
right? And
This is where
you
Billy's gonna be
noticed
the
it
hero.
too. Jake and I are the same guy.
The
We
wizard's just in the
noticed
background.
Jimon Hounsu as the wizard in the background, and he's just being like, "What the fuck? Come on, let's go!" And
Like
shit.
somebody forgot to tell him to get out of frame,
Right.
Like, and he's just kind of hanging out in the back, like.
And then they show the joke, but Jake and I are already in on it because he's been doing it for fucking 5 minutes already. It's like, okay, well, we already know the joke.
I really think that might have been an error. I really think that might have just forgot to tell him to get out of frame, or he didn't know where his mark was, or he's in the wrong mark, or I don't know. But it is funny because he's just kind of scratching his arm, just hanging out in the
he's like,
background.
Fine, what the fuck?
Oh, okay, you did a good job.
Yeah,
I'll give you my
yeah,
speech,
alright,
and then
yeah.
she fucking has a speech. But that scene's great, though. By the way, emotionally, very hits great when she says, "I want to talk to Billy. I want to talk to my son." So then he turns back,
Gosh.
and they have that moment where, and the kid nailed it, like the crying and
Single tear.
the single. It was great. Again,
The special effects were great.
This movie works so well because it was casted so well, and they really nailed the family. And you're right. Maybe because this movie's been put on the shelf like 3 fucking times, they had time to actually make the visual effects work in this movie.
There wasn't ever a moment where I was like, "Ooh, bad CGI." You know, there really wasn't.
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe they did a lot more practical shit, and maybe that's why it looked so good. I know, like a lot
Again,
of
I think it's because they had so much time. That
I know
it's been
a lot
delayed.
of the damage, like when he pushes her, when he slams her down through the street into that lower garage.
Yeah.
You know that was really like
there's
they broke
stunts,
this
yeah.
right. So I mean, I think that was part of it. Is that I think they did a lot more practical stuff than some superhero movies do.
I really dug,
But great special effects.
I really love the fight that he had with Helen Mirren in that when he like knocks her down and then they're fighting.
Oh yeah, the
And-
end.
Not when they capture her. So when they're fighting and then she's got them tied up and she's like choking. Again, this movie sometimes really leans into its violence a little bit, which is a little bit more surprising in a movie like this. But yeah, so she's like choking him out and he goes, "Did your dad have super speed?" And he like spins around her and it smashes her into the wall. And I was like, again, me as a viewer, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like they're doing a good job. I'm like, thank you, Billy. You're learning. You're figuring this shit out. Like you want to root for Billy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what? She's choking him out, and she's standing in one place. He's basically on the ground, like just done for, and she's making this fucking giant rock with all this shit, like and basically
She's elemental.
gonna move it directly to the left, not follow him. And he recognizes that, and he's like, "Wait a second! If I just fucking switch places with her when she's not,
I spin around and shove
attention,
her. Yeah,
she'll get hit by the thing
because
because
she doesn't have super speed.
There
There you go. No,
guess he didn't. Booyah! No, but he kills it. He kills it. Everybody in this movie pretty much kills it.
I really enjoyed. Really enjoyed it. I think
I really enjoyed it.
Oh, dude. I do have some issues with this.
I'm sure you do.
One of them is the ending. Now, I thought the whole point for me, and this is just because this is where I thought this was going narratively. I thought the whole thing was going to be like, I didn't think they were going to kill him because at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
he destroys the dragon, kills 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 that lady and everything, like sacrifices himself and he's dead, right? And in my mind, I'm like, well, clearly he's not dead. Like they're gonna bring him back, you know. How they did it was great because it was a really funny joke and similar. What they did at the first movie and then just amped it up another level to actually having Gal Gadot do it. But like, just the fact that he just, like you were mentioning, that they can willy-nilly just throw the wizard powers into these people. And it just kind of like, I thought the whole point was going to be that They all lose. This is what I would have done. Writer Jake here. Don't take what I say with a grain of salt. But what I would have done, what I thought would have made more sense on his character arc, he can't. Sure, he does get brought back to life, but he cannot give back the power of Shazam. Or maybe there was just enough. Wonder Woman gave it enough spark to bring him back, or whatever.
Right.
Because to me, the whole point of it was he's got to let these people go. But then they kind of just didn't. I feel like to finish that idea for me, he's the only one that can be Shazam.
You just hate families. I mean,
I don't know. That being said,
you just hate people being together.
That being said, that is how I would have done it. But I
would have done the same
But
thing.
I like this family, and I think this family tests
True,
well,
true.
and they want these characters back in the next
But here's exactly why, and this is why. And now...
But you see what I'm saying with that idea of like just him being Shazam?
I don't think it was the aged out as much as... Okay, so I remember when Shazam came out, and I actually watched all the special features. And they were talking about how... The original. Okay, so the actress who played Mary Marvel is now playing. Is her name Mary? Character Mary?
Yeah, the character's name is Mary.
Okay, is now playing Mary also.
Yes.
Right. And if I remember correctly, because Freddie Freeman is at that age, whatever, right? And
well, you also got to
so
keep in
is
mind,
Billy Batson, kind of.
You also have to keep in mind this was filmed like probably 2 years ago.
Right, but what I was gonna say is that you're gonna have that problem with as they age, but.
Yeah.
Hang on, but what I was thinking is when Freddie Freeman gets turned into Adam Brody, even though Freddie Freeman might be like an adult or a young man, I think it still works because it's an amplified version of him.
Yeah.
So I don't. I agree with your writing idea, but I would have used it to get out of that hassle, and I realize there's no hassle. I'm really glad that I told you all about that.
I'm totally fine with them having the family because I like the family, so I want to see more of that.
Well,
also,
good for you.
Also, I love the fact that they had Pedro be gay, and the way that he came out is when they all were like getting ready to say we're the Shazam, or we're superheroes.
Yeah.
Is what they're gonna say, and he's like, I'm gay, and we're like, yeah we know, buddy.
Yeah.
And I've never personally had that happen, but there's been times where I find out someone I know is gay, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I just love how they're just so accepting of it. Like, we know, whatever.
Yeah.
I like that. Again, because it adds to that family just being a loving, caring home for these kids that they don't get. And that's why it's so easy to root for them.
Is the reason why, is this movie not great tomato score or whatever? Is that why we haven't seen a lot of grifts about...
Oh, because there's no money in it? Probably.
Because you haven't said anything about
the
it.
narrative is going to be like the shitty box office. But if I'm being totally honest, there's no one to blame on this movie being a failure than DC themselves.
Because I'm glad they're not saying shit because I'm tired of them.
I am too, but here's my thing. This movie, I love this
movie. But I find it interesting that it's a poorly...
I love this movie, but I know it's going to... I have a strong feeling it's going to be a flop.
Probably.
And... It's
the amount of money it costs.
It's nobody's fault but DC's because this is their reputation.
Hey, by the way, Lego, where's my DC Shazam set, you fucks?
Honestly, I had not really seen that much promotion of it throughout. And usually, like I feel like when I saw more ads for Black Adam than I did for Shazam, to be honest.
Oh yeah, the marketing push for Black Adam was far greater,
which I think is again sucks because I think this both Shazam movies are the stronger DCEU movies, and especially this movie. Now, I just don't know what they're gonna do because I feel like logically the next step would have been Black Adam. Because I said back in this
finger on my face, man.
back when they were showing this shit off at Comic-Con.
He was picking my nose
last
almost.
summer. I said, guys, this is the setup. You put out Black Adam in October. You have Shazam coming out in December. You have a scene with Black Adam at the end, and then have him show like that was almost too perfect. And then they fucked that up because Dwayne Johnson wants to fight fucking Superman.
No, he wants to fight Henry Cavill
instead of. Actually fighting the hero. If you want to do Black Adam movie, fine, but you have to pay that off with Shazam.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are you doing? What are you doing? They even used the same guy. The same wizard.
You know, growing up, I really liked Chewbacca, okay? I really liked him a lot. But what I thought was a big problem was that Han Solo was always around.
Fucking Han
You
Solo.
know, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to make a Chewbacca movie without Han Solo. That's interesting, The Rock. What are you going to do for your next movie? You know what I really liked about Starsky and Hutch is Starsky. But I really didn't like Hutch.
No.
So next movie,
Even better.
Starsky.
Even
no
better.
Hutch.
It's a Starsky and Hutch movie with me and Kevin Hart. That's time out. Now I kind of want that movie. Shit.
No, we're going to work.
Can't.
You're not even going to give me any props on my Dwayne The Rock impression?
It wasn't great. If you're going to do The Rock, you got to do like his promos from pro wrestling days, you know?
No.
The Rock says...
Because that's The Rock. That's not Dwayne Johnson.
Wait,
God.
they're different? I thought they were the same. Oh, anyway.
Move on.
Final thoughts, final grades.
Really liked it.
I gave it 5 wizards. No,
I'd give it 5. 5.
If I were to give it a grade, wow. If I were to give it a grade, I think you guys know how much I love it. A+. I fucking love this movie.
I'll give it a solid A.
It exceeded every expectation I had. It did everything I wanted.
Actually, A- because it was DC.
And I will say this to put a bow on it. I think there's a lot of criticism of it because we are again still living in
Because there's a gay character.
no, because we're living in a post Endgame world
Huh.
where every superhero movie's got to redefine the genre and all these other things. Like you said, it's gonna change my perception. It doesn't look like, but this movie is a great example. It's okay to play it safe and have fun.
Do you remember why I always said that I didn't give a fuck about this movie? Is because of that. You remember that?
But then you watched it and the characters won you
No,
over.
and I went into this movie going, I don't give a fuck if this changes my life or if this fucking reveals something
glad.
about the DCEU. Because, well, dude,
I'm
that's
high-fiving
why
'cause I'm glad
that's
you're
why
back.
I haven't been able to really enjoy an MCU movie in a long time because I got stuck in that fucking rut of like, where's the Easter eggs? Where's the next? You know, what's the end credit? Like, stop that.
Right.
Stop that shit. Go to the movie and enjoy the movie. Have some popcorn and some soda and a fucking pizza. Because we went to Flicks. By the way, Flicks has it all over every other theater with the pre-movie stuff.
Wow. Just gonna keep going.
I'm going to go into Flicks this week and get us a promotion from them.
I don't have the time
Free.
for that.
No, I'm going to. No, we'll get free beer for you whenever you go.
I don't know.
All we got to do every week is go, brought to you by Flicks.
Oh.
Brew House.
Anyway, A+ for me,
You son
A
of
for Tyler.
A- because it's DC.
A-. Wow.
I got to add the DC.
Such a
The
fucking-
DC.
Oh, well, actually, did you know this thing about Celestials? No, nobody fucking cares about Celestials, Tyler. God damn it.
Will you do that one more time?
What?
Do that one more time. That was funny.
ask me the thing about Celestials. Fucking nerd. All right, anyway, moving on.
What was this thing?
By the way, how
What
can
is
I?
this
How,
thing?
how can I?
Are you just? Is this how you denote
Tyler-
that you have glasses on? Is just pointing to your fucking
This
nose?
is a like pop culture movie, TV, comic book show, and I'm calling you a fucking nerd.
I know.
Okay?
No,
Come
well,
on.
I thought that's why it was so funny. Because I am.
Well, let's talk about
Your impression of me was flawless.
dun, dun,
See,
dun.
I give credit
Let's
to
talk
good
about.
impressions.
Shut up. Let's talk about the Mandalorian.
No, because I
Season-
didn't watch it.
Season 3, Episode 3.
I didn't watch it.
You watched it.
I watched the first scene before I left the station.
This
today.
is the first episode of the season
Mm.
that I was like, don't really care for this.
Well, see, all I saw was up to when they chase off the people who bombed her castle, and then I had to go. But I read the synopsis, so I know what happens. In
No, you didn't miss much because it's that, and then this like 20, 30-minute
Dr.
sidetrack.
Pershing. Yep.
Talk about the dude, the guy from the first season that was running Test's son, Grogu. And like, okay, I understand the intent of it. I understand that, like, okay, we're going to build up this villain. We're also going to show the beginnings of the first is it the First Empire in the sequel trilogy?
New Republic or the First Order.
First Order, that's what it was. You're starting to see the reformation of the First Order, and the Empire turning into the First Order, and you're seeing this character. Fine, but you could have done that in a much shorter, for me, a much shorter time span in that episode.
Okay.
Because they've done such a great job of making me care about Mandalore and Bo-Katan and Din that when it's away from them, I'm like, I don't think it like. It's like I'm doing this with my hands, like when I'm in my TV, because it just kills. It doesn't it feel like it just grinds the momentum to a screeching halt, and to a point where I fell asleep watching it, and I had to wake myself back up to finish watching the episode. I think
I'll have a different perspective because the synopsis I read is very intriguing to me, and I really liked Andor.
It's interesting,
and they said they were like, "Oh, they're trying to be Andor," and I'm like, "All right,
that's interesting," but again.
I don't know.
I just think that, like, for me,
I'm really excited about the Bo-Katan character arc.
Again, that is what I'm more excited about and I'm more interested in. So it was kind of like wait, what? And I admire that they...
Maybe it'll pay off in the next episode.
I admire that, again, they're building up a villain. They're showing you these other things, these other elements, and I can respect that. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to know more about... Like you said, I want to know more about Bo-Katan. I want to know more about Mandalore. That you did.
Well, think about
you've done a good enough job to make me want to see that.
She comes out of the water with him and stuff. She doesn't take her helmet off yet. She never does in the episode, as far as I know. And after they get back to where she was staying or whatever, her whole castle gets bombed, and it's almost like. I said this. Okay, so she sees a mythosaur in the last episode, right? So it's like this, like. I consider myself a Christian and everything, whatever. But if I was
come to Jesus,
if I was walking, it is. If I was walking with somebody and they were like, "Hey, man, I'm really, really into Jesus," I go, "Whatever," and then they fell into a crevice, and I had to go in and rescue them, and I was like, "Oh man, I got to rescue them." And while I'm rescuing them, I look over, and there's Buddy Christ from Dogma.
I thought you were gonna say Jesus mythosaur.
Sure, yeah,
that'd be wild.
A Jesus-asaur.
Yeah, now that's something I want to see.
A Jesus Rex.
A Jesus Rex. Why are you high-fiving me?
Because that's a new comic.
Jesus Rex!
Oh, I'm pissed!
Resurrects. Jesus resurrects.
Jesus and the Resurrections.
No.
Fuck you.
I'm tired of dead people compared to boners. Rigor mortis.
Stiffy. I got a stiffy.
So,
that's a dead body.
Yeah. See, it's interesting.
What was I talking about? You got me off my fucking...
No, that's interesting. It is kind of like... They do a good job of subtly showing that in the episode. It's subtly showing a change in her. I agree with you. I think there is that. And it is funny because she has had her helmet off multiple times before. She's flown without her helmet, but she's weirdly keeps her helmet on the whole entire time. And then
it's okay. You sidetracked me. I loved it. But no, yeah, you see Jesus Rex.
Yeah.
And
Jesus Rex.
And then you come out of the crevice and you're like, I'm kind of changing my mind about some things. I kind of can't deny what I saw,
Yeah, so the ending of that episode is really cool to have the
so she knows the mines are real, and there's the living waters are real.
Yeah.
She knows that the mythosaurs are real. So she's questioning because she was brought up in the elite of Mandalore, where they had already
her family ruled.
According to the people that Din grew up with, the the people of the Watch or whatever.
Yeah.
The Night Watch.
It's the problem where you drink this no-calorie soda, it makes you burpy.
Right. Well, I'm gassy anyway. No, but
gassy?
But think about it like this: like, if you think about it, almost like they were the true believers.
Yeah.
And the elite, the ruling family, was content letting them, because they were like, fine, as long as they have their religion, they'll leave this the fuck alone, whatever. And they never believed any of it. They might have even fucking done some pageantry with it to keep them, you know what I mean? So for the first time, she's like, oh my God, I truly am a Mandalorian now.
That's what I think.
I never was before.
That's why I have a lot of trust in Filoni and Favreau with what they're doing, because they're really digging. It's funny because now it seems like Disney, Star Wars is learning, like, let's keep digging up this lore because there's so much. It's fucking Star Wars. There's so much
Mandalore
lore. That's their new episode, Mandalore Lore, the podcast.
Mandalore lore, giving it.
So you know what I thought? What I was hoping they would do this season.
I'm glad you stopped me because I was about to go off on a rockabilly tangent.
Obviously, I don't think they're going to do this, but coming into the season, I thought they were going to be like, and maybe they still will. But I'm like, just give me one fucking flashback scene. Not even a long one. Just a brief flashback scene of the Mandalore Jedi
I
War.
thought the beginning of it was a flashback to when Din first got his helmet.
But could you imagine that? Seeing that in
Oh,
live
dude,
action,
I
the
wanna
Mandalore
fucking-
Jedi War. Oof.
That's what you need to give us. Hey, assholes, this is what the fans want. We want Jedi and Mandalorians fighting alongside and then against each other.
I just want to see fighting. No, but
we won't see a lot of fighting.
no. But I think the
Enough with
episode.
this Western bullshit.
I will say this though, this show did, I think, put a nice bow on it. So while I didn't really love that middle portion of the episode, it really did a good job. I thank God they cleared out that narrative, because I'm like, are we really just never gonna go back to them at all the rest of this episode? That's what I was really worried. But we get back to them at the end, and it's that really, really interesting scene where she's like, Bo-Katan, you are redeemed. She goes, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, you swam in the living rivers and you haven't taken your helmet off since. No.
Don't spoil it for me.
You're redeemed. This is the way. And I'm like, fuck, man. Because now that adds an interesting layer. Because now this whole time there's this narrative hook throughout this season. I'm like, is she going to fucking take her helmet off?
Now, hang on
Is
a
she
sec.
going to believe this shit
Here's
now?
the-
Is she going to be with him? Or is she going to backstab him? I don't know.
You remember you were talking about how is this going to affect the battle for the Darksaber, and it just came to me.
Yes.
Do you remember how he had to ask her all about the Darksaber?
Yeah.
So as far as they are concerned, they don't give a fuck. So now he can give it to her with no problems.
And she actually
Because
knows
that
how to
shit,
use
right?
And she knows how to use it. He's still struggling with the weight of it. He's still trying to learn how to
Boom,
use.
fucking boom, dude. That wraps up the Darksaber storyline in a nice little fucking bow, dude. I don't have to fight you for it. Here you go, because under the way, this is the way.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know anything about the Darksaber or all the stuff that she was talking about, where you have to best me in combat. and all
Honestly, I don't think they're going to do it.
that. No, he's not going to just give it to her.
No, they're going to have some sort of
Sure.
fight. I think maybe I don't know. See, you're right. That adds a whole different layer.
It's going to be
So
different.
there's a new way to end that
the
Darksaber
armorer will
storyline.
figure something out, and she'll come up
Yeah.
with a something. You know what I mean? I'm sure they have some sort of protocol or procedure.
But see, again, they've done a great job of getting me back interested in all this, the mythos and the lore behind
The mythosaur.
Well, just the fact that we're talking about when you have that age-old tale of two different groups of people, and that struggle for power, that struggle for freedom, and all this stuff. That's always going to be an interesting, compelling storyline, and to see them go into that lore of it. Because the Mandalore shit is so fucking. I didn't even know about it until you told me about it. I'm like, oh fuck, dude, that's awesome.
Bo-Katan cries. She decries in the first episode of the season when he goes to visit her. She's
done.
Well, so many people we allowed ourselves to be, split up and everything with different beliefs and stuff. Honestly, your ruling family probably encouraged that, if not outright fucking made it happen.
Yeah.
Because that's how people rule other people. And the thing that I think is really interesting is she is like, God damn it, if only we hadn't been so split up, we could have fought against the Empire. Well, you're the fucking family that probably made it happen,
Yeah.
dude. And now she's finally becoming a true Mandalorian, which is really, really cool. And I think Filoni is sitting there going, with all them Clone Wars stories with Bo-Katan and stuff, I kind of fucked up the Mandalorian kind of mythos, and I want to get back to the legends of what that was, because most of that
it's
stuff
a way to make her a traditional Mandalorian,
right,
yeah.
because most of the stuff, the way and all that comes from the legends and shit. Boba Fett was never a true Mandalorian,
Yeah.
whatever. He stole the armor, whatever.
Django stole the armor too.
Or Django stole the
And then
armor
he
and
got
then
it
he
from it,
modified.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
The whole
But yeah, I think it's a great way for Filoni to say, hey, I don't have to erase any of the shit that I did, but I can wrap it all up into shit that I loved growing up. Because he read the same books and comic books I did growing up, dude.
Yeah.
He did.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where the season
So it wasn't
goes.
such a bad episode after all, was it? You fucking douche.
Well, the sidetracking storyline kind of for me, but of the three, I think for me it's the weaker of them. But
the dogfight scenes were pretty badass.
I love
when she flips her wing, dude, that was badass, dude.
I'm always a big fan of dogfighting in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Big old, well,
Not real
like the illegal
dogfighting.
kind,
Yeah.
but in the air. So final grade, I'm gonna give it a B. B minus.
No,
A B minus.
I didn't know if you were
Pregnant
I thought
pause.
you were having a stroke.
Maybe I was.
I have to give it an incomplete because I haven't seen it all.
You fucking.
But I'm certain.
This is me beating him.
Yeah.
Don't you ever come in here and
but
do
I'm
that
gonna-
shit again.
We shouldn't make light of it. But
yeah, we shouldn't. I didn't actually.
No, he didn't. But I don't. I know I'll probably enjoy it. So based off what I've seen and what I know about the episode, I'm gonna give it a tentative B, solid B, B plus.
Just
Because
to
I
be
gotta be
different.
different.
Fuck you.
Gotta be different. We started without telling me. I can't believe we got Tom Arroyo from Slayer to do our.
No,
You
we did
believe
not.
that?
There's no way we can afford that guy. Tyler,
We couldn't. He was just
Tyler.
like, "You guys are awesome."
every single week we go to Mayhem Comics in
I
Des
do.
Moines. Well, you do. Yes. Shut up. Just play along with the story.
Yeah, no, we do.
They hook us up with a brand new comic every week. We don't
Mhm.
have any say. They pick it out for us.
No, we don't want a say. Like we want to, you know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah,
Marvel,
yes.
you're
Prop-
DC,
Proper verbiage.
and
there.
so basically, this is our way of being able to check out independent books that we might not pick out ourselves,
And
that
encourage
are
you
that
to-
are hot sellers, and or that that would broaden our horizons a little
I
bit.
wasn't going for a cheers there, but I
Oh.
was just going to say, to encourage, supporting the not only the indie publishers but also your local comic shops.
Go
So
to your
check
local
out,
comic book shop, man. Do you know how much
Specifically-
cool stuff there is? Mayhem Comics in Des Moines.
and Ames.
Yes, I think that it's in Clive, but Des Moines is fine. Look up Mayhem in Des Moines. You're fine.
It says Des Moines on their website. So
It's fine.
anyway, what is the comic this week, Tyler?
This week is Star Trek Defiant by IDW. IDW is probably like the third or fourth biggest publisher right now, honestly.
Yeah,
After
definitely-
Image and Marvel, DC.
Definitely doing
Image.
better than Boom. Oh, take it, Boom Studios.
It's probably right now. It's probably Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, and then IDW. In fact, IDW might be even like 3 or 4 because they got a lot of fucking books on the market, and they're all
But
a lot
they
of them
lost
are.
the Transformers license.
They did, which is fine because I'm willing to bet Marvel will do. I never read any of that shit.
There's some good shit
I've
in
heard
there.
it was really good. Yeah. So we got Star Trek Defiant #1, and what it is it's a Worf story, and it's about it's a lot of stuff. Star Trek is very dense mythologically, and I know has a very dense mythology, and I know especially like the later Next Generation stuff.
TNG.
Yeah. And I did watch most of those. And Star Wars, I'm sure somebody could say that about Star Wars too. But for whatever reason, when I was growing up, I tended to be more Marvel, DC, and more Star Wars than Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I never really was interested in Star Trek growing up.
Like the original series, I can't really watch an episode of the original series because it's like an hour long. It is. And unless you're really into Star Trek,
Yeah.
it's kind of fucking boring.
It is kind of weird because of all the thing. Like you think about when you watch movies or TV shows with your parents, and you see how like formative that thing, and usually what your parents like you like. My dad like watched when he was growing up. He watched the original series, but we never like watched Next Generation or Deep Space Nine. Like we didn't watch any of that.
Well, see,
Because I don't think he was that into it, and I think that's probably why I haven't been into Star Trek.
So let me put
Nothing
you guys,
against Star Trek, by the way.
Let me put you guys into a scene here. Let me put you guys into a time. The time is 1986. It's 3 years removed from Return of the Jedi. You have probably had Temple of Doom, but Last Crusade is probably a couple years off in the rear view, and you're expecting a third Indiana Jones anyway. But most of the properties that you know are just kind of gone. And there's no real, shit, you're never going to get another Star Wars movie. You kidding me? And Star Trek, well, the original cast is getting older and stuff, and I mean, sure, they're doing movies, but
wasn't it only the odd numbers are the good ones?
the point is that at that point, right now, it's a thing that all the IPs you loved as kids are coming back.
Oh, it's cyclical. They always come.
Right, but
How many versions have there been TMNT?
In 1986, The Next Generation was the only thing of all the IPs that we liked that was like, oh shit,
A continuation.
an update.
Yeah.
Right, we're 10 years away from the sequel trilogy, all that. So that's why I watched The Next Generation, because it was a way to get, a weekly way to get into that, and to keep that science fiction, that love for science fiction. And I did like it when I first watched it, but again, it's just really, really dense. And one of the things, it's not a bad book, but one of the things I talked to you about is, for some reason, Star Wars and Star Trek comic books, when they were first being made, the editors of the Star Trek comic book were adamant that all of the artists have to draw the characters like the actors who play them. So on the cover, that's Michael Dorn, that's Leonard Nimoy, that's Brent Spiner, that's whoever the chick was in I think Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
But it makes the art weird, doesn't it? You felt that way the same way, right?
Well, for you,
in Star Wars, they don't make that much of an effort. Well, and it helps with the art.
Well, I think it's because you're coming from this. It's coming from the TV medium, right? And you're coming from that. So when you're reading the comic, you're almost reading it like a TV show.
Sure.
Because I don't know about you, but when I was reading it, I heard Leonard Nimoy's voice.
Of course.
I heard Worf's actor's voice, so I can't think of. You probably know it. I don't.
Michael Dorn.
Thank
said
you.
it. Yeah, no, it's right.
Michael Dorn. Yeah, I'm hearing that voice.
Yeah, of course.
And this is also someone who has like a passing knowledge of TNG. Like, again, I never really watched it, but I know who they are. I know. Like,
did you ever see First Contact? One of the better Star Trek movies.
No,
it's actually really good.
No, I saw the best one, Nemesis. Again, never seen that movie, but I know people fucking hate that movie.
I think I tried to watch it, but again, it's so dense with the TNG mythology that I can't get into it.
And I think that is to the detriment of this book, because Star Trek Defiant, again with you, I honestly think was well written. I think it.
And the art's not bad. It's just, again, that bugs me about the. But it doesn't. It's not.
There's certain things that are done in the story that I'm like, again, if I was like a big TNG fan, this would probably impact me more. Again, I'm not taking away from the book in any way.
And, I'm probably more.
I was thoroughly entertained with it. I thought, again, someone who is coming in is cold as an icicle with our Star Trek knowledge.
Right, yeah.
For me to come in and kind of...
I mean, they're talking about, like, the first Klingon Emperor. I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know, like, what?
But I also think they did a well enough job that I could kind of navigate it. And
there's a couple things of exposition right at the beginning of the book, and then there's two, like, captain's logs pages.
I love that, by the way.
That is perfect, because it does allow you to get more into the story.
And I think it's also very... you could probably say no to this, but I feel like that's more of like a Star Trek thing, to have something like that.
Yeah,
like this
I
big
think
piece
so
of
too.
text to be like, here's the exposition.
Honestly, it's a comic
so
book thing nowadays. Like, Marvel books do it a lot, where they just take a page and it's like, especially the X-Men books. They'll take a page and it'll be like an excerpt from
the front
Emma
page.
Frost's diary. No, not always. It's like, sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes it's in universe. Yeah.
Especially since Jason Aaron took over. But who's been doing X-Men?
Hickman?
Yes, since Hickman took over. Aaron is about to finish up the Avengers.
Dugan's doing it now, I think.
in terms of a straight up just objectified
just the book
review,
itself.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
But just not being as big into Star Trek as I am, and probably you are either, it's probably not something I would buy. But if you are into Star Trek and you watched like the whole TNG and you're really into that, if you're watching, what is the new
Picard?
No, that's
hey man,
Strange New Worlds or whatever. Yeah. They're on Paramount Plus, but they're kind of continuations and they're kind of like offshoots, different timelines.
I think you'd be better off. I was just gonna say, Picard. I know you're very upset. Everybody hated season 2. Everybody hated season 1. I think.
Season 3 looks fucking cool.
Everybody says that season, like, based on like the Star Trek people that I've heard from, is like
season 3 is gonna be kick ass.
It's like a proper send off to the TNG characters.
Yes.
which for you I'm sure is exciting. So I was gonna say you might want to check that out. And if you're
season 1 of
watching
Picard,
Picard, the Star Trek Defiant probably be a great companion piece. Just something to have there with those characters.
Yeah, if you like Star Trek, it's definitely a book for you. We're just not as huge.
But
into
I love sci-fi so much that I was
still enjoyed it.
I still had fun with it.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
it does a great job of still having more like pulpy sci-fi elements to it. So again, someone like me who doesn't have a ton of knowledge of it can navigate the story and understand what's going on because it's a pretty simple story.
Yeah.
But as we know, with like Star Trek shit, it's never that simple.
Or in Star Wars.
and Star Wars. So overall, I like your assessment. If you like Star Trek, especially TNG, you're really gonna love this.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're not into Star Trek, you're probably not gonna read Star Trek Defiant anyway.
Probably.
That's just the case. But anyway, another great episode. As you notice, we've been putting these up on our YouTube. So
let me go do you one better. If you're walking along and you're looking at the wall of new comics and you don't see any that you like from your regular whatever,
you son of a bitch, I knew you were gonna do it.
And you see this Star Trek Defiant and you haven't seen anything else, dude, check it out, man. It's it's well written and the art is good, and they do a lot of Star Trek books. So
I'm just saying, you son of a bitch, because I knew you were going to talk about the Avengers.
No, I can't. I already talked to you about it.
Oh.
You don't want me to.
You can if you want. I'm just saying I need to end this segment.
Let's end it.
Okay.
Is it weird that every time I hear that, like, I feel like I have to take a shit? Like, it just vibrates my bowels to the point where I have to poop?
I feel like that's any time I talk. Like, vibrates through my ears. Gotta drop
every time you talk, you gotta take a shit.
That's my superpower. They call me Brown Note.
They call me Brown Note. My partner's Jesus Rex. He's a holy dinosaur.
Holy dino!
Holy dino! You've been down to the block to the rich and low. Oh, what you see, what I mean.
We thought you were extinct.
No! Ride the tiger! You can see his stripes so you know he's clean.
Yeah.
That's lyrics. You can't write lyrics like that. Like Johnny
They don't write them like that.
You can see his stripes so you know he's clean.
While we're on the topic of music, T-Pain released a cover album on top of the covers.
No, that's T.I. who like checked it. Okay, yeah, T-Pain.
T-Pain.
Good.
His cover of War Pigs is actually fucking gnarly. I'm gonna have to
dude, War Pigs is a great song to cover because it's pretty easy and also you can really fucking rock that shit out.
It's really trippy and weird.
I'll have to listen to it.
I love it. Big fan.
Pantera did Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath.
Fuck Pantera.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.